How you doing, buddy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, some days better than others. How are you doing?
Upright and taking nourishment?
So, let's talk about the bad penny that keeps showing up.
Is that what we're calling it? I'm gonna go with the bad penny that keeps coming. Okay. All right. I like that. So, we got to go back 45 years.
45 years? I can hardly remember yesterday.
You don't even remember what you had for breakfast today.
I don't. You have the same grin today that you had back then.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we had to have a smile because that was the way to
survival,
get through.
survival mode, right?
Yeah, that's what gets you through.
Right.
Nobody wants to see you cry.
So let's talk about that situation. That was back in the 70s. I don't think that either one of us had more than 2 nickels to rub together.
Yeah.
I've reflected back on this with some degree of sorrow that I wasn't more attentive to you and I didn't get to know you as well. I mean, you were in and out all the time, and we knew you, but it was you got blamed for everything that went wrong in the place. So you know, that's a tough position to be in.
Yeah, and that came back later to haunt me in life because when I needed people to be references for my things I had done good,
Right.
there were very few pickings.
Right. Yeah. So they remembered all too well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it was a fair number of years later, and I took this position as a chaplain at Maine State Prison. And lo and behold, the first day I was in my office, the first person who came in to talk to the clerk was a fellow by the name of Chris Rega. He called himself Thomas back then. Thomas Chris Rega, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting in the office and I hear this guy asking for some greeting cards. And the clerk asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Thomas Rega." And I jumped out of my chair and I said, "Oh my gosh, I can't get away from this guy." How many years had gone by?
Just disbelief, I remember saying, "Is that you, Stan Moody?"
Yeah. What are you doing here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What?
And can you imagine me coming into the prison like this and you're not even in segregation?
Yeah, it was that was the toughest part of my life, but you brought the religion part into it, so that helped get me through that.
You were looking forward to the time when you could put your faith into a different perspective, into a more global perspective. I mean, let's not minimize the fact that faith inside a prison is a tough assignment. It's a tough assignment. And that's where it really takes courage.
So I wrote to you, and I knew I'd be being released.
It was 4 or 5 years, I guess, after I left. Yeah.
Stayed in contact.
Yeah.
And then upon my release, you were here. They said they told me I was going to Bangor, Maine. That's where I'd be living.
Yeah.
And you met me at the bus terminal.
At the bus terminal. And the bus rolls in, and off you come with all of the belongings that you have in the world in a backpack. Yeah.
And
So
we went down.
how scary was that?
Well, it was scary, and it didn't realize. I thought while I was in that it wouldn't be difficult to reintegrate back into society. Thought that it was going to be easy, and it wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
Everything just was the whole thing. Everything was spinning around. Being on a bus after being in a cell for 14 years, being in a bus, driving down the road and watching things pass by was.
Yeah.
It was difficult to.
Knowing that you had the freedom to get off the bus at any time if you wanted to. Right?
Yeah, you're always looking over your shoulder. Where's the guard?
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so I came up here and started. We found a place to live. I found a place to live with your help, and I had a lot of support. I was very blessed. I was very lucky to have a lot of support.
But we were kind of shooting in the dark here, weren't we?
We didn't know.
We didn't know, and
Navigating.
now we have some knowledge that we can pass along to somebody else, right?
Right. We were navigating in the dark without headlights, and so now, and it was a learning curve. So that when other inmates came back out, because then they had the Columbia Street Project here too, which was to help inmates when they get back out to get back on their feet. So it was like, where are we going to live? What are we going to do for work? Where are we going to eat? Because, you know, we'd had all that taken care of for us. So yeah, we had to make choices.
And you kind of stumbled at one point, didn't you?
I sure did. I said,
yeah.
Stan, I can't take it. This is too difficult. I can't make it out here. Yeah, so I went to you and I said, Stan, you know, this isn't working. And I said, I got to go back. It'd be easier for me just to do, you know, my 5 years that I have remaining, just to go back. And what did you say?
I said, do you need a ride?
And I wound up going back. I went back to the Penobscot County
Yeah,
Jail for
yeah,
5 months
yeah.
last winter.
What was interesting, when I would get down to see you once a week, I mean, I would walk in and they would bring you down and you would have that grin on your face.
Still smiling.
And you'd say, and I'd say, what do you got the grin about here? You said, I'm really blessed. I've got a ministry up there.
Yeah.
These guys are coming to me and wanting to know about the Lord and wanting to know about the Bible. So I got Bible studies going on up
That's
there.
right.
So
Right
you had
from the beginning.
yeah.
Right from the beginning, back at the Cumberland County Jail in the beginning, they used to call me Reverend Reba.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And then at the prison, again, going to church, and then getting out and coming to church at the Columbia Street Baptist Church,
Yeah.
and then going back to the Penobscot County Jail. We had our own little we had Bible studies
Yeah.
in the cells,
Yeah.
which was like you said, it's unheard of. People you just don't have, you know, sitting around talking about Christ and the system.
So you were well regarded down there.
But the Lord really, I believe it's just the Lord was watching over me. This is awesome. This has been, and now meeting you again after 45 years and coming back together here at the church.
Now you understand, we're kind of setting you up. The expectation level just went up.
I'm really blessed, and I really thank you very much.
Well, it's the Lord. I'm here because I've been placed here. You're here because you have been, you know, whether I like it or not, there you are.
Well, that's the thing. I think that this whole conversation here was mainly about, not just about the Lord, but the fact that after 45 years, here we are.
Right.
We're still trying to figure out how and what we can do to help others, you know, what this message will be for others as they hear this.
Yeah.
And and hopefully it'll inspire them, you know, even though there's been some situations or circumstances in life, that there is hope.
Well, I'm thankful for having been in your life, Chris.
Well, I'm grateful to have you in my life.
And God bless.